Tree Country 1330 WTRE at 7:30 on this Thursday morning. Good morning, Mayor Marsh.
Hey, good morning, Emily. Happy Thursday, everyone.
The sun is shining. It's nice out this morning.
It is really nice. We didn't, last night's little line of storms was in and out. Little rain keeps the grass green.
That's right.
Yeah, so overall, pretty good.
That's right. It was. It had been a little cooler, the first of the week, and so I was glad to have a little more heat this morning when I went out.
There was that little bit of taste of fall earlier, and then all the pumpkin spice stuff popped up at Starbucks. So
it's magic.
There you go.
That's right.
That's it.
Just blooms, just like that. Speaking of some summertime stuff going on, Dog Days took place last week.
Yeah, that was sort of really, really nice day out at the farmer's market. Hopefully, we're able to make it down there. And so Truman and I headed down for about an hour before we had to get somewhere else. We had a busy schedule on Friday, but we were able to stop by. And the one of the neatest parts was Shepherd Boy Farms, which makes the freeze-dried dog treats out in New Point.
Okay.
And is making, about a $50 million investment in, most people know it as the American Lifts building on McKee Street, kind of back behind the jail, behind Blaisdell's back in there. They're doing a very large expansion into that facility and investing quite a bit of money to make more of those. So they donated multiple bags of dog treats from Main Street to hand out to passerbys that had dogs there or had dogs at home. So a good opportunity to kind of plug another Greensburg, Decatur County company that many of us may not know about. You can purchase their stuff on Amazon and directly through their website. I'm not sure that they have a local purchase option.
Okay.
I have not been able to get an answer to that. I don't know if you can go over to New Point and get them out of the building, buy them at their office or what, but you can purchase them on Amazon, and they're made right here in Decatur County, which is great. I will tell you that I think once you start giving them to your dog, that will be the only treats that they want.
Is that a problem?
It is a problem a little bit. I haven't bought any bags, but there was a few. Somebody in our office has them occasionally due to a connection with the company, and then he got a small bag of them from there, and they're very popular with the dogs. But they're a single, which is really cool about them is they're a single ingredient. So, if it's a beef liver or beef lung treat, that's the only ingredient, and they freeze dry it. It kind of puffs up like what we would normally see like as a freeze dried candy, and from the dog treat world, they must be phenomenal.
They're good.
They must
He's hooked,
be.
right?
Right, exactly. So a really cool Decatur County product for sure.
That's fun. We also have a farmer's market taking place on Friday as well, but the farmer's market season is quickly coming to an end.
There are 3 to go, I think is what our number is. So, we've got this week 2 more, and then, of course, the Fall Festival. So they don't ever do it the Fall Festival week, and then after that, we're deep in the fall. So
yeah.
we got 3 weeks left to get out to the farmer's market. Check it out. They've got lots of good stuff still. And then I'm sure there will be some mums and things starting to pop up in the next couple weeks.
Right along with the pumpkin spice.
That's right. I know. The mums are already in the stores. I saw some the other day. I was like, wow, my summer flowers just finally look good.
Right, and now
I got to rip them out.
put the mums out.
Yeah.
That's right. We've had a lot of discussion. We talked last week a lot about the storms and the floods that came through. Mike Snyder announcing yesterday that Decatur County is going to qualify for some FEMA money and working on gathering that information. Do you have anything to go along with that?
Yeah. So the governor, the state of Indiana, asked the federal government for a major disaster declaration for the state. This allows for federal funds to help communities and individuals rebound that were impacted by it, and et cetera. Now, I will warn you, there are a ton of hoops to go through to get federal FEMA dollars, but it is out there. So we were one of 40, I think there were 40 counties, something like that individual assistance can be garnered for. I was trying to look that up a little bit before we got too far into it. But the impacts vary, obviously, by county. So some are getting government assistance, meaning governments can apply, and some are getting individual assistance. So I don't exactly recall which one we were in. I've read 44 articles about it. But the good news is I think you've got it posted on the WTRE website. So you can hop on there, take a look at it. There's a code to scan, and either way, it's going to help recoup some dollars. overall, Decatur County and the city of Greensburg, from an infrastructure perspective, fared really well. We didn't have any failed infrastructure that I'm aware of. We didn't have any major road and drainage issues that lasted beyond the impacts of the storm. So when we started talking about infrastructure failures, that's really where the FEMA dollars help communities a ton. In that, when you look at that bridge in Hamilton County, that's sort of been the pillar, or the absolute devastation in Cambridge City, and major sewer failure in Connorsville. Those types of events are where the federal dollars help a ton, because it does open up. Hamilton County was talking about it starting with a B, right? Like $1 billion plus problem project, and FEMA federal dollars help that. So that is important. It's important to us. It's important to other units of government. We did have some expense. Obviously we had overtime. We had treatment costs. We've had infrastructure repair, some minor infrastructure repairs. I know the county had a lot of different expenses and different pieces and parts that they were working on. So there will hopefully be some dollars that come back to the community through FEMA, but we'll see where we end up with that as a whole. But if you are interested in that, if you did have some storm damage, then you can do, there's a QR code.
There's a QR code, yeah. I spoke with Mike yesterday. He's our EMA director. He's trying to get as much of that information gathered through this weekend by Monday, Tuesday, because I think there's more submission that he has to go through that and then submit it. So there's a QR code on our website, and then you just scan that and fill out. But he said to please be as detailed as possible so that they're able to submit what they really think is they're going to need.
Again, it's a lot of hoops. It's federal dollars. There's a lot of hoops. So it is not, and just because we submit it doesn't mean that it gets funded. So just read. Reach out to EMA. They're the right agency to reach out for that if you have questions.
He's asking for pictures. If you took those, you can attach those. Expenses you can list on there, but there's a section he said for details. So just be as detailed as possible. And he's going to come in next Tuesday and kind of talk about that process and where we kind of stand as a county.
And one of the things that's probably worth really pointing out, this is not for infrastructure improvements.
No.
It is for repair costs. So before everybody gets the idea of, well, let's just get a bunch of money to improve this to prevent it, that is not what the dollars are for, and can't be used for. It has to be for repairs.
Yes. So yes, try to get that done this weekend if you have any of those issues.
Yeah.
Coming up next week, and I think a lot of people have seen this down in the park, but there's a new structure. You're going to cut the ribbon next week for it, but it's a Rotary-based project.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even as a Rotarian, I don't know a ton about it or exactly the mission, but it is a park amenity feature. It's a new basketball tree that has multiple basketball goals on it. It looks really cool.
It does.
So we are partnering, Rotary is partnering with the Chamber to do the ribbon cutting next week at noon out at the park. So come out, join us. We'll all learn about it together and the mission behind it.
I'm really curious how, does more than one person shoot at the same time? Because there's lots of hoops on there.
There are, yeah. And so I don't know. I'm assuming you can play some games on it. But it's a really neat looking piece of park equipment. It's obviously there. The ball diamonds have, I think somebody told me there's 10 tournaments left for the year. So we still have a lot of those to go. And, the traffic out there has been crazy this summer, which is great. So another nice park amenity and something unique. I've not seen one before that Rotary's doing is really, really unique. So come on out and join us. It's open to anyone and everyone. It starts at noon. Chamber's going to host the ribbon cutting, and it should be a ton of fun.
You can teach us about it next Thursday. You'll have all the answers.
I will try. It's a good thing you thought about talking about it this week.
That's right. Take notes.
That's right. We have to keep track.
I think next week already will be Super Tuesday. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
The first. It's going to be the first. So it is very early in the month. And I don't know that we're having all of our meetings. We've been sort of, like most folks, summer breaks tend to, delay projects and things that come before BZA and plan. I know that we'll have our airport meeting, and we should be able to announce our new airport member next month or next week. So we'll chat about that next week as well. But the airport board will meet. I don't know that they have a ton of items on their agenda, but they do have the car show going on out there this weekend, 9 a.m. out at the airport. Anyone and everyone is welcome to attend. It's being put on by Genesis Pathways, which is a great local nonprofit organization out of southern and southeastern Indiana that works on kind of developing high school students, early workforce development opportunities for students. So they're the ones that reached out about doing it, trying to bring some more awareness to their program, but then also bring some awareness and opportunity to the car show. So if you're interested, come on out to the airport this Saturday and walk around, see what's going on. I think there's going to be some food truck options, and they've got quite a few cars signed up. I'm hopeful, right? Part of the idea is that we will have some planes fly in as well, so you'll be able to check those out.
And it's a one day, right? Just Saturday?
It is just a one-day thing. It is, I believe it starts at 9 o'clock. Let me click on this link real quick. And it's Honda's the presenting partner for them, which is great because they do a lot with the Genesis the Pathway. So 9 to 12 is vehicle check-in and register. Vehicle check-ins between 12 and 3. The award ceremony is 3 o'clock. If you would like to register your vehicle, it's $25 or $30 the day of, and it's going to be out at the airport. But it is free to attend if you just want to come out, walk around, check it out. So it sounds more like 12 to 3 is the window that you'll want to be there.
And that's a new event for our community.
It is, and it's something that Gary Bailey's been working towards being more active in the community. The airport organizations are trying to be more engaged, and so our board is really taking on that approach too. Some of our members that have hangar space out there are trying to be more active and engaged, and it's also something different. So it's again, you can bring the plane component. So, they are promoting it as a fly-in as well. Now, whether we get people to fly in or not, I don't know, but we'll see. And, it's a good free event in our community. Lots of good stuff going on out there. And there will be, I was looking to see there, it says food trucks will be there as well. So you can come on out.
That's right. Go check it out. Something new, and show some support for it. And hopefully we'll see it return.
That's right.
We have some pavement taking place.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of the end of the summer pavement projects for at least a little bit. We're doing, we're finished. We're getting some of our ready money tidied up where was left over from the downtown streetscape projects, investing in some more infrastructure downtown. So the parking lot we own behind Picker's Paradise is getting full base and new surface, which is great. It was in really, really bad shape. The alleyway along the south side of the square is getting some rehab work as well. So that one's obviously we own the parking lot back there, but we're trying to get that improved a little bit. And then back on normal street work, not under the Ready project, but under normal street work, we're actually going to do McKee Street from Broadway down to 421. There's quite a bit of traffic that really flows down through there, with the 421 closure, etc. So we've been able to kind of squeeze that one in. That one wasn't on our bingo card this year, but again, we had some dollars, so we're always trying to activate dollars where we can and use those resources wisely. So McKee Street was on our list. Maybe as early as next year, so we're actually just moving it up, which makes room for something else next year. Though that project is going to be underway. It might have already been milled off. I should have drove that this morning. I just didn't think about it until I got here. But milling and just new pavement going on there. So not too much extra as far as curbs and drainage and all those kinds of things. That street's incredibly challenging for drainage because the slope actually runs north to south, but the street runs east to west. So it creates those kind of dips at each intersection, with East Street and Franklin Street. that creates a really, really complicated drainage problem. So just some new pavement, but hey, new pavement's good too.
That's right, and ahead of schedule, so even better, right?
That's right.
We just finished up Power of the Past last week. The summer's flown by.
Was that just last week?
That was just last week.
Boy, that seems like 2 weeks ago at this point.
And as Extension said yesterday, they're like, we felt like we just had the fair, and now the state fair's over. I'm like, I know, just that quick. But great, we had a great turnout, a great show, great fun.
Yeah, of course we did live at 5. We did noon on Friday and Saturday to help kind of promote what was happening in the afternoons out there. I think that went really well. Seemed like a pretty good crowd. I don't know about record setting, but seemed like a good crowd for lots of activities, lots of good food options, as we talked about on the show, and it's always good to chat with what's going on out there. So I would assume, I don't know why, they wouldn't be back the third weekend of next year. I think they already put the dates on the back of the brochure, so it'll be back. But yeah, I thought it went really well, and they had a good turnout for tractors this year as well. If you didn't get a chance to get out there, put it on your calendar and
be there next year.
Yeah,
that's right. With that wrapping up, hard to believe Fall Festival is just weeks away.
Yeah, that somebody at Power of the Past was asking about that. I said, well, it's the third weekend in September, and I mean, I'm sure before I recognized that they're only a month apart, but I was like, dang, that is going to be here before we know it. I mean, they've got a lot of music lined up this year. I don't know if they've got a country artist, but I know that they've got a couple different, like, kind of rock band
I think
covers.
Mark's coming in maybe next week, actually, and talk more in depth if the music is coming. So Erica was in earlier this week to talk about the pageant and all the vendor space. I'm amazed at how Rhonda just sticks them in every little nook and cranny in downtown.
Yeah, so we, the city partners with them in a couple different capacities. We provide the overnight security through GPD, and then obviously we do the street stuff, and then we do a small monetary donation, and then that puts us in a mid-level sponsorship. We do the others as in-kind contributions, and then a little bit of money to help the event. But we get a booth, right? So part of our sponsorship levels, we can get a booth space. And so she's always very early to ask, do you need a booth space? And I'm like, nah, we're GPD and GFD do their kind of safety tent stuff in the back, and so we just hang out there and be available. But it is she fills it up, and I think last year like 160, 150 vendors.
There was a lot,
and she really works to make sure that it's different, that there's not a bunch of the same thing, and tries to be mindful of quality and quantity, but there's still a lot. And then, you look at the number of people that come into downtown over the weekend and, spend 2 days and hotel stays and just people from across the region coming. It's a very big deal. And we've got, the Cincinnati Rail Experience is coming the next weekend.
That's right.
But trying to get that many people into downtown, and everybody's always complaining about the parking, but we can bring 10,000 people in over a couple days, and we'll make it work, and everybody finds a spot and brings their golf carts and brings their chairs in. I guess it is worth mentioning, while we fight this a little bit every year, no dogs, no scooters, no bikes sort of inside the square. GPD does a pretty decent job of trying to keep, if you're going to bring a bike, you got to walk it. Occasionally we get some rambunctious kids who want to just tool around on their bike, so they get a couple warnings before it gets elevated. But just leave those items at home. Everybody,
it gets so crowded.
It's so crowded.
Safety is a priority there. So
yeah,
no wheels.
No wheels, and like we fly a drone every now and then from a safety perspective, but yeah, like drones, that's becoming one of those things where in crowds we have to be more mindful and cognizant of that, because one, obviously it can crash and hit someone, but also if everybody brought their little drone, we'd have a lot of drones. So I guess now we do dogs, bikes, scooters, and drones.
None of those.
None of those, please.
Eric and I were talking, though, last year. We were at this point getting to the Fall Festival. Everybody was a little nervous on the construction being finished downtown. And so this year...
Not everybody. I knew it would be done. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the Schutte excavating team knew it would be done.
We knew it would be done. We just knew it was going to be very tight.
Oh, well, we made it.
Who knew, right? We did make it. But in talking about that, this year, I think we're all ready to go, enjoy it. It's all in place, looks good, and ready for it.
Yeah, and again, a lot of electrical improvements downtown for that and for other events. Last year was the first year with the new layout, and it went just fine, and everybody made it. A couple of random things that no one notices, but is built into the design is in front of game plan. There's not a tree because that is actually in front of the stage. So we tried to be cognizantly aware of that, and the stop sign there comes out so that it's not in front of the stage. So I know sometimes people are like, you don't ever think about these other things. Yes, we do. It's in there, and cognizantly aware. And last year went really well, and this year to be back, and the parade will make its return, and everybody will be good to go.
That's right. Does Truman get to be in the parade?
I don't know.
It's a while out yet, but
we'll see. Depends on whether it's myself or walking or not.
How you're parading.
How we're doing the parade, yeah. So we'll see. He does typically do that one because he can ride in the gator as we hand out candy. So we'll see.
Very good. Also, last week was just a busy week across Decatur County. National Night Out took place on Thursday.
We had a really, really, really good night for National Night Out. One, the weather was maybe the best year we've ever had, in that it had, obviously it's been raining, but it wasn't a mud hole. But the grass was green and the ground was soft. It wasn't dusty. It wasn't dirty. It wasn't windy. The sun was out. We didn't have any rain. Right temperature. I mean, like perfect on perfect weather. And so we had a very good turnout. We did barbecue chicken and mac and cheese and coleslaw, hot dogs for kids and anybody else, obviously. We had about 650 some people come through the line, which was a pretty good number. We had planned on about 700, so we got that number just about right. We still had quite a bit of leftovers, but our math was for 700. And then tourism sent over some data from Placer about, visitors. Our average time there was about 90 minutes. So if you think about for a 3-hour event, that's a very long time, which is great, which means people are hanging out, enjoying the evening, visiting with the vendors. The demonstrations were well received. We had some great other public safety partners from across the county that came, and some of the tow trucks. Duke Energy brought a couple other bucket trucks, and Duke's been much more involved in the last couple of years than I remember them being, and they were at the back to school bash that the health department did, and et cetera. So it was great to see them, and I think they were new for us this year. I don't know that they've been with us before. So glad to have them. Lots of other different organizations, and Jeremy Stallsmith with Big Dog Sound did a great job with the sound system, and had a really good playlist, and he had a theme song for everything. And when it was he had the cop song and the helicopter song, and he was trying to figure out one for the EMS team. So he did Staying Alive. So
great.
There you go. So he was really engaged with the whole evening. Sefton's, the prosecutor's office had the Sefton Snow Cone folks out there. So, it is one of those things where there's some expense to it, but overall it's really a tremendous number of impactful touches with all generations of our community for a very limited expense. So a phenomenal event. Takes a lot of really good partners. We appreciate KB donates the coleslaw and the mac and cheese. O'Mara Foods helps us out with the chicken and the refrigerator truck, and there we get some other donations. Portalets brings the porta pots up, and Kennelly and Daughters helps us out with the car washes, so everybody's car is super clean that night. So it takes a ton of people that really bring it all together. And again, when you have 650 people, and tourism numbers seem to think about the number maybe like 1,000 to 1,250 on tourism's numbers. So that may be because a lot of vendors don't eat. That's just the easiest way to keep track of people that come through, and it's good for reorders. So we do have, we'll plan to do that again, and we've got one more of those I think planned for October. So it'll be October 15th. That's the third Thursday of October. So as we get closer, we'll talk about that. I'm not 100% sure where it's going, but we'll be out and about one more time this year with our community cookout series.
One more to go. We came from the Power of the Past that night over to National Night Out. And just as you pulled up, the crowd, we kind of drove into that, and I was like, wow, like they were everywhere. And I tell you, to see, and I always say this when we're talking about these events, the engagement between our frontline responders and the community during that time. And we saw them out with the ambulances, the police cars, and they're getting to talk and touch and meet, so that they know it becomes familiar for them. So if you're a little kid, you're not, in an emergency, you're not so frightened by what you might see. And I think that's a big connector for these kind of things.
Yeah, and it's the health department and child services and some of the recovery groups. And one of the items I noticed in the moment when we were out there, Paige Russo with Shutter Up Photography, I want to give her a big shout out. She was the official photographer of the night, and she's working on getting those, so I'm sure we'll have those out later. But she was going around taking pictures of the booths, and I was walking around with her a little bit and saying hi to everybody and thanking them for being there. The number of people from the organizations that were in the booths, much higher than in years past. And to me, what that shows is that people are willing to volunteer their time, whether they're getting paid to be there or not, I don't know. That's their people's business. But the number of people that are there working, in my opinion, shows not only support for it, but excitement to do it, right? Because if you can do it with 2, but you have 4 people that come, it's because people want to be there. They want to participate. They think there's value in it. So that's what I also like to see. One of those things, I obviously go every year, so you sort of watch it grow and change and tweak. And Chief McNeely and his whole team, and Chief Sturmer and his whole team do a wonderful job of the logistics behind it. My responsibilities come down to a few of, trying to make sure we've got the tents and the extra facilities. The street department brings over trash cans. It takes a really big team, and the clerk treasurer's office usually comes out and helps serve food, and the utilities teams help in different capacities. So they want to help with it because they see value in it. So beyond just those frontline responders, which it's great that you're getting interaction, but we're also getting interactions with people who help serve our community in different capacities that you don't get to interact with, you don't see. And sometimes you don't even think about them being public safety or safety oriented. And the sheriff always brings, he's always there, and the sheriff's deputies, but even just some of and I feel really bad because I'm forgetting some of them, but I just pick on the health department team, right? Like, that's a public health item, right? We can go into any restaurant in the community, and there's a very, 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 very high chance that you're going to have no issues doing that. That's not true everywhere in the world. And so clean drinking water and healthy dining and, health-mindedness is a part of public safety and public health. So it's great to bring everybody together, even if it's one night a year. I'm glad to do it.
And the other thing I saw too is the social interaction, which I think is great as a community. Everybody's out talking, but people were going booth to booth, and you don't always see that at events. Sometimes they kind of go and swarm around, and then they're done. But I literally saw people going from booth to booth and interacting with those different people.
I think one of the best rules that we have on this event is you can't sell anything and you can't promote anything. And part of the reason for that is it's not a job fair, so people don't feel like they have to be bombarded with sales requests, job applications, or anything. There's no commitment to visiting every one of those booths. It's not like, oh, if I go over there, are they going to pitch me to buy something? Do I have to pay something? Do I have to buy raffle tickets? Nope. And I think that helps create an environment. I'm really glad that we do it that way, because it makes it, for lack of better terms, a really safe space to go and just have conversations, because you don't feel obligated to do something. You don't feel obligated to buy something, sign up for a texting list. You don't feel pressured. And I think that helps. And then the other thing that I think we really, really have nailed is we Clear Sound and Ellis Tents, they have a business here in town, but they're based out of Lawrenceburg. We get them to bring in the big tent, and we put down real tables and chairs. Gives people a place to sit down, have dinner, socialize, visit with neighbors. We see a lot of people who spend a couple hours sitting under the tent just chatting with neighbors. It turns into almost that old school neighborhood party. And that's also an advantage too, if somebody isn't out and about in a social atmosphere very often. It gives them an opportunity to do that. That's a health thing. It's a public safety thing. How are you? What resources do you need? I have this concern. CIT, the Critical Incident Response Team, mental health. So it does so much more than just barbecue chicken and mac and cheese. And that's what I think we should all be really proud of.
Absolutely. It's a very good night.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Anything else for this week?
Wow, I don't think so. That was a half an hour already.
That was
Dang.
fast, wasn't it?
Dang. I don't think so. Car show again this weekend out at the airport. Come on out and join us and everyone out there. Cars registration 9 to noon, judging noon to 3. So if you just want to come out, check it out. Food truck options will be out there. Don't know what that is, but worst case, you can always head over to Sweetie Shop, play a round of mini golf, and grab a ice cream cone.
That's right. Easy.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see everybody next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and have fun.